Let me start by congratulating all of you. You have arrived at Fordham University, and you've been accepted into the Gabelli School of Business. I am that strangest of creatures, a writer in residence within a business school. This is a role that excites me no end, and happily, I'm not alone. Every year we welcome 450 new writers in residence. A writer's work begins by learning how to write clearly, correctly. Many of you know how to write correctly already. That's good. Some of you don't. That's okay. There's a lot of help available to ensure your success. All of us can write better. To write clearly, to write correctly, it's the minimum expectation we have of every single Gabelli graduate. Writing correctly doesn't require a special talent. It does require specialized skills, and everyone can learn those skills, such as knowing grammar, punctuation, syntax, spelling, knowing when to say lie and when to say lay. Don't you pretend like you don't know there's a difference. There happens to be a difference between lie and lay in grammar, too. Knowing when it's safe to press send and when it would be wiser to press delete. Knowing when to proofread and when it would be okay not to proofread. Knowing when to capitalize, when to italicize, knowing when to quote, when to paraphrase, when to summarize, and when to lay claim to your own intellectual property. When Bernie Madoff, remember that name, said, "You can trust my brother and I." That was not correct. Today, when Bernie Madoff says, "They threw the book at my brother and me," that's correct. Too often our writerly education ends there, satisfied to write correctly. But it's thereafter when all the real fun begins. There's a whole other level of writing, and that is to write persuasively, to move a reader's attitude toward your subject from resistance to neutrality, from neutrality to acceptance, from acceptance to endorsement, and from endorsement to action. This kind of writing aims higher than clarity alone, and it relies on some distinctive insights: how to use effectively logical claims, supporting evidence, relevant data, timely documentation. Most everyone can learn to write persuasively. Give it a try. There's no penalty for falling short. As a writer, I fall short all of the time. There is a penalty for not trying, seems to me. Writing correctly aims to minimize loss. Writing persuasively aims to maximize gain. Then there's a third level above and beyond writing correctly and writing persuasively. It is to write memorably. When you get to this level, you're going to discover right out in the open a pot of gold. Leaders write compelling prose that others can remember. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Martin Luther King, Jr. History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. Winston Churchill. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. Eleanor Roosevelt. You must be the change you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. Not everyone can write memorably. It's a talent unevenly distributed. But everyone can learn to recognize what memorable writing sounds like. See which member of your group possesses this aptitude. Draw on that person's power. I'm not talking about turning to a certain group member and saying, you're a good writer, you write up the report by tomorrow. I'm talking about recognizing the tremendous value to your group in calling forth that individual's unique contribution. Here's the thing about memorable writing. People remember it. Now, here's what I would like you to remember. When you get into the world of work, don't outsource language. Don't turn over your own writing to an administrative assistant. You will have silenced your own voice, given away your own power, sacrificed your own potential to lead. If you outsource language, you will have outsourced yourself. So through all your time in Gabelli, take care of your words, your grammar, your arguments, your voice, and take care of each other.